He has been off our screens, and I will say screens because he is on every physical screen he can get himself onto, and you know what? I'm actually here for it. He has been off our screens, and I will say screens because he is on every physical screen he can get himself onto, and you know what? I'm actually here for it. Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev, the Nicholas Diaz. I don't know if it is Nicholas fully, but
probably. I know.
What's he gonna do?
He always calls Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan now.
Nathan.
He's like, I'm good friends with him, and he says he wants to be called Nathan, so I respect that.
Nathan and Nicholas is so not into Nate and Nick.
Yeah, that's what they're getting called now, Nathan and Nicholas. But he's back. He obviously had his
old.
He's old. I was talking about Chimaev, but yeah, Nick Diaz is back. Nick Diaz is back after a 6-year layoff. Khamzat Chimaev is back after a COVID layoff, which was going very south for him at one point.
Yeah. Win?
All the time, yeah. He's back after his 6 month. I'm not even too sure how it's been. So, yeah, Diaz Chimaev, talk me through it. What do you think? Obviously, it's not set in stone yet, but there's a lot of discussion.
Yeah, like I think it's a hard fight for Nick to come back to, be honest with you, because like typically he's like a boxer, jiu-jitsu, and like not struggled against wrestlers, but like if anyone's gonna beat him, it's gonna be a better striker, which I don't think Khamzat is, but or a dominant wrestler, which he definitely is. So like hard fight for Nick to come back to, especially like considering I know he trains a lot, but like doing it on the night, do you know what I mean? Fighting in front of hopefully fans.
Different grave, isn't it?
Different box of frogs. Different box of frogs.
Makes me think of Harry Potter when they eat the chocolate frog. Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. But the thing we can say for the Diazes is they are always the ones to put their hands up and get in the mix of the hardest fighters. They've always been that. They've in terms of who they literally. They pretty much only want the hard fighters, and they stick their hand up for it. So, if this were to happen, Nick Diaz would be very much doing that because there is a lot of conversation around Khamzat Chimaev, and you know what? I think rightly so. To be fair, I think no one's doing what he's doing.
Bits.
And no one's done it before that I can think of. Double weight classes.
There's his own little gimmick he's got going on.
Fair play, and you know what the thing is, I want that to continue as much as possible. Because that's just fun. Like, as a spectator, that's what I want. I want someone game. I want someone game to the fact they'll go, yeah, I'll fight a 185, I'll fight a 170.
Smash everybody.
Yeah, and I'm so down for it. But like you said, I think it's a difficult conversation for Nick Diaz to... Because, what does he look like?
Yeah. When was his last fight? I don't even know.
6 years.
Who was it? Anderson.
Couldn't even tell you who his last one was.
Silver. Like, that just goes to show you.
But you got to think of the people he was even fighting towards the end of the day. It was Anderson, obviously BJ Penn,
GSP.
Like GSP.
It's all some straight up legends, like actual legends.
Like all legends in that conversation.
But like
6 years.
Yeah, the sport's evolved, you know, and I'm not even saying that Khamzat's better than GSP at the time or fucking Anderson Silva, but
it's a different game.
Just different. It's just different. Like, this guy's been fighting, competing, well, not recently, but like, do you know what I mean? He's been in the mix, like training every day, leveling up, and I don't know. Diaz looks in shape though. I will give him that. Like, he looks physically old. Yeah. But I see a picture of him with his like shirt off and shit.
Yeah, he looks in good nick.
He's always in nick. He runs. But you would. He's apparently pretty healthy. Diets all the time. So like, you just don't know. They're both so unknown commodities that you're like, yeah, I'll watch that because I don't know how the fuck that's going to play out.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly it. I think that's what even adds to it so much is we've got two sides of the we literally have the two opposites that we could possibly have. We've got Khamzat Chimaev, who has shown us a little bit, who could potentially be this like megastar in UFC, like dual fucking weight classes, and like, oh, could he be this? Could he not be this? And then we have Nick, who we knew exactly what he was, but we don't know what he is now. So we've got one that was previously very established that we have no idea about now, and then we've got one that's not established but could be very established. So it's a very, very, very weird one. But you're right. I think Nick Diaz coming back into that it's not an easy fight, and if he puts his hand up, I think fair play. Yeah, fair play.
He's one of those guys as well, right? Like, if he doesn't want to be seen, he won't be there. Like, he wouldn't be at the UFC on camera, like, around the UFC if he didn't want to be there. Do you know what I mean?
He's not that
He's
guy.
more than happy to fuck off and live his own life and not live in the media.
Yeah.
So like him even turning up to an event, I think
It's a
lot.
big
Because
thing.
for a while he wasn't even allowed to corner Nate.
No.
When he was banned. So like him turning up to a UFC says a lot, because he's always been like, yeah, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
And it's
He's been saying
frustrating.
it for a while,
It's frustrating
isn't he? Yeah.
because you're like, yeah, but are you? Like,
Yeah,
are
100%.
you? And who are you gonna fight? And then he's a little bit punchy. He's a little bit old, and you feel like you better like do this now, because you don't want to be that fucking old guy. Like, oh yeah, I could beat him. I could beat him. Like, you got to do it. Do you know what I mean?
And the thing is over here is, when I watch his interviews, and I think probably a lot of people get this, is when I watch his interviews, I don't even think that he almost, not cares is the wrong word, but I think if people said to him, if he just decided to go off, crack on, because he's got a few businesses, he's done quite well outside of it, doesn't he? If he was to go and crack on with that and just leave fight, I don't think he'd really care. I don't think he'd care for that backlash, like you said. Like, he doesn't care to be in the media's eye. So, and that's always what I think when there's conversations, when like Nick or maybe someone is entertaining quite avid conversations with him, and he's sort of there or thereabouts in the mix to have him back, I think, okay, maybe this is going to happen, because he's not that type of guy to be like. Connor's such an obvious example, entertains a lot of conversations. Do you know what I mean? Will speak to a lot of people, has a lot of call outs and things like that.
Yeah.
I think with Nick, and even with Nate, to be fair to an extent, it's okay if that's there. It's not nailed on, it's not guaranteed, but there's a nice chance of that, you know.
Yeah, like, I want to fight you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they'll just do it like a niche one. He'll just come back and fight Pettis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's weird, because some people said BJ Penn as well. Again.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see him. He's fucking getting knocked out in bars in Hawaii.
You don't really need that in the UFC. I think
Dana won't do it.
It sounds romantic, but
He's too old.
do we
He's
need
so
that?
old. Yeah,
Not-
no, I don't want to see
not
them two
really.
fight again.
yeah,
They won't
don't
put it on.
need that.
Let them box or something. Do
Let them box for 50 mil.
you know what I mean? Joke
Where's
one
that
guy.
price?
But yeah, it's an intriguing one. Khamzat and Nick. I don't know if we'll see it. I actually don't know. We do know one thing though.
We gon' find out.
Wrap us up.
As always, you know the drill. If you enjoy the content, drop a like, drop a subscribe, all that good stuff. Get involved in the comments as well. Get the conversation started. Drop us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff, and keep up to date with daily MMA content. Peace. Peace. Right. Well.